Now we move to the next topic, which is the Hive formats, right? So file formats basically specify how records are stored and encoded in files, right? So they are basically specify how records which we have inserted in our tables are stored or encoded in files, right? So if you uh, in basically in Hadoop or in HDFS, when we want to read or write data from a specific location in HDFS, it is a time-consuming task, right? So file formats, they basically speed up the read and write process, and it also provides some advanced compression also, right? So that ultimately the purpose of these file format is to reduce the time taken by read and write operations from HDFS or some location in HDFS, right? Because it's a huge database, so we need to store data efficiently so that we can access them quickly, right? And it also differ these data file formats. They are also varies according to the compression rate also, how they are going to compress the data in the storage, in the space, disk storage, right? So there are different kinds of file formats which Hadoop provides or Hadoop supports, as well as Hive supports, right? But primarily the file formats, they are categorized into two categories. One is row oriented and second is column oriented, right? So these are the two kinds of categories or the file formats which Hadoop supports, right? The difference between these two is how the records of a table, because our tables are like this. We have columns, and within that we have rows. So let's say it's a 4x4 matrix. So how we are going to store it? One way is row oriented, first row, then second row, then third row, then fourth row, like this, or first column, then second column, then third column, then fourth column, like this, right? So these are our columns, these are rows. So in case of row oriented, it's the data will be stored with respect to rows or row by row. And so row by row. First row will be stored, then the second row will be stored, then the third row will be stored, and then the fourth row will be stored. Whereas in case of our column oriented, first column will be stored, then the second column will be stored, then the third column will be stored, then the fourth column will be stored. And so this is column oriented. And this red color, it is row oriented. And these file formats, they are categorized as per these two categories, whether they are row oriented or column oriented, right? So as you can see, there are a number of file formats which are supported by Hive: text file, sequence file, FROW files, RC file, ORC file, Parquet files. So these all are the file formats. Some of them are row oriented, some of them are column oriented, right? So I will discuss in brief all these data types, right? Okay, data format, sorry. So first is the text files. Now this is the default file format in Hive, right? This is the default file format, and it is very commonly used in most of the applications. So in this case, we will create a CSV or TSV files which are separated by commas, and CSV files which are separated by commas, and these are separated by tabs. Right? So data in text file format stored in lines, where each line is a record. Right? So data is stored in lines, where each line is a record. Let's say we have a file or the table which contains the data of the students. Right? So let's say name, considering only 3 field, roll number, and let's say age. Right? So this is the header of this text file or the CSV file. Then we have name. Let's say Ali, roll number 411232, and separated by comma. And so this is a comma separated file. So we will generate a text file which comprises of the records of a table in such a form. So all the records are like this, which are separated by comma. So every line, it is terminated by a new line character. Right? So it is terminated by a new line character. That means like this, /n. So we are entering the next record in the next line by pressing the enter key, right, at the end. So this is first record, this is second record, third record, like this. So these text files, they are the convenient format, basically, because they are very simple. They are the text files, and they are very convenient format which can be used to interchange data with other applications or script. So that's why it's a that's why it's a default file format in case of Hive, because it's very simple. One thing, it is very simple, and we can easily interchange the data with other applications. Right? Now, how to because whenever we are going to create a table, we have to specify the type of the file format also. Right? So to create a table, there is a command called create table, which is similar to our SQL commands, which we use for creating the tables. But in addition to that, we can add these words, stored as text file, at the end of the statement. So here we will write create table, and so like this, and then we write stored as text file. So now that means we are going to create a table, and we are going to store them in a text file. Right? In addition to that, we need to also specify the row format delimited here, right? And field terminated by, because how we come to know that it's a comma separated file or TSV file. So we have to specify in the table that whether it is a fields terminated by the tab or fields terminated by the comma. So that we have to specify. I will discuss in detail the syntax of this create table command during the DDL commands. And so here we just have to note down this thing, stored as text file. So with this, we will specify that we are going to use the text file format. Now the second is the sequence file format. Right? Now this file format, it stores values in key value pair. Right? So when Hive converts query to map reduce jobs, it decides on the appropriate key value pair to be used for a given record. Right? So these basically sequence files are in a binary format, which are able to split, and the main use of these files is to club two or more smaller files and make them in a one sequence file. Right? So the main advantage of these sequence files are we can merge two or more smaller files into one file. And there is a key value pair according to which we will separate the file, or we will join the two smaller file into a single file. So again here we will write stored as sequence file at the end. The next is the Hive RC file format. So RC file formats, RC stands for record columnar. It is almost similar to the sequence files, but in this case it offers high compression rate. Right. So ultimately, how to check the performance of these file systems? It is done only when you will implement this. You will create a table, a same table, create a table with RC files, with ORC files, with Avro files, with backward files, with text files, and then run query on these files and see how much time they will take to process that, to return the results. Fine. So if you run same query on all these file systems, and you note down the time taken by the query and the file system to return the request, then only you will come to know the performance of all these file systems. Here in this lecture, I am just discussing with you the various kinds of file system which we can use. Right? So whenever we will create a table and we want to store it as a RC file, again we have to write stored as RC file at the end. Right? So these keywords we have to write, but have to change this only. Right? Then ORC file is optimized RC files. Right. So these are the RC files, but it is the optimized files. So optimized means there is a better compression in case of ORC files. Right. So it again, to use ORC files, we will again write this stored as ORC at the end of the line. So the ORC files, because it provides better efficiency as compared to the RC files, so it improves the efficiency of Hive in reading, writing, right, or processing data from the large tables. Then we have Avro file formats. Now, Avro is basically open source project. You can search on the Google also. So there is a separate website for this particular file format. It's an open source project that provides serialization, data serialization, and data exchange services for Hadoop. Right. So that means you can exchange data between Hadoop ecosystem and programs written in any programming language. Fine. So it is one of the popular file formats in case of big data Hadoop based applications. So it can process many other programming language like C, C++, Java, Python, Ruby. Right. So it can process all kind of these file systems. So, but Avro is a row-based storage. It's a row-based storage format. right? So it's a row-based storage format, which is mostly used in case of Hadoop, right? So we can again we can add this line stores as stored as Avro at the end of this particular file format for creating the Avro file format files, right? The last is the Parquet file format. Fine. So it is a column-oriented binary file format. So it is basically again a separate project of Apache, but it is highly efficient for querying a large scale query, for submitting and processing a large scale queries, right? So it also uses compressions like Snappy. So it uses compressions, Snappy, gzip, but this is the default compression in case of Parquet. Right? So in all these file formats, if you want to use any of these file format, the syntax of using this file format is we have to use create table command, then name of the table, and then we will specify the column specifications of your table, like the various columns that you would like to enter into the table, and then we have to use this words or keywords stored as file underscore type. So this we have to use with while using different file formats. If you don't write this, by default it will take text file as a file format. Right? If you want to change these file formats to any of these, then you have to specify the type of the file format. Right? And if you want to see the performance of all these file formats, then you have to create a table with respect by using different file formats, fixing the table contents, putting the data into the table, and then running queries on the table by using different file formats, and note down the performance with respect to the time taken to process the data. Right? Because ultimately the role of this file format, using different file formats, is to reduce the time taken to read and write data from the SDFS, because it contains huge amount of data and there is a process through which it has to pass and collect data from SDFS and process the queries. Right? So how to reduce that time? So these file formats would help you to basically efficiently process the queries by taking less amount of time, right? Now next topic is the Hive data model. Right? So data model is the term which is I think you all are familiar with. It is taken from DBMS. Right? So it is how you organize elements of the data, right? Or how data connects to each other and how they are processed and stored inside. So this is the purpose of data models. Similarly, in Hive structures the data into a well understood database concepts like tables, rows, columns, and partitions. Right? So here, in case of Apache Hive, the data can be categorized into tables, partitions, and buckets, which are sometimes called clusters. Right? So we have a database, which is a broad term. Under this database, we have number of tables. Within that number of tables, we can create different partitions based on some columns. or we can also create buckets based on some columns. But buckets are basically, they are used for sampling, right? And they are used to, basically buckets and partitions, they are used to reduce the time of process of querying, right? Time of processing the query, these two. But buckets are additionally used for sampling also. So if you have a huge amount of data, we have divided the data into partition, then we can create buckets within the partition, right? And then we can process that large data by using the buckets, right? So this is the basic database concepts which are used in case of Hive. I will discuss one by one all of these concepts. Right. First is the tables. Now, Hive tables, they are same as the tables present in relational databases, which stores the data, and then we can perform various operations on the data which is stored in the tables. Right. Here, this Hive, it stores, as I already told you, Hive stores its metadata in a relational database, but not in the SDFS. Fine. So, Hive has two types of tables. One is called internal table, and second is called external table. So internal table are also called managed table. Okay. So the command which we have seen in case of SQL to create a table, like create table, in that case, that command is also similar here. So if I use create table, that means by default I'm going to create an internal table or the managed table. But if I want to create an external table, then I have to specify one keyword, right? Create external table, like this. In that case, it will create an external table. So what is the difference between these two? Right? By default, as I told you, Hive stores the data in the internal tables, right? And the internal tables will be created in a folder path, like similar to in Hive user /Hive/warehouse. And so this is the default folder where it will create all the internal tables. Right? But we can no doubt overwrite this location at the time of creating the table. But by default, internal tables, they will be created in a folder like this, which with the name warehouse in the Hive folder, right? Which we can change. And another difference is, if we drop an internal table or the managed table or the partition, the table data and the associated and the metadata associated with that table will be deleted from the SDFS, right? So if we drop an internal table, table, the internal table or the managed table, the table data and the metadata associated with these two will automatically be deleted from SDFS. But when we are creating an external table, fine, the important thing is Hive does not manage the data of the external table. In case of internal table, Hive manages that. But if you create an external table, Hive does not manage the data. So Hive does not manage the data. Right? So whenever we want to create an external table for external use, right? So we create an external table for external use as when we want to use the data outside the hive. If we are using only within the hive, then go with the internal table. But if you want to create a table which you can use outside the hive also, then go with the external table. Okay? So that means they will not be stored in this particular location, right? They will not be stored in warehouse directory. Right? So they can be access data stored in some remote SDF location or some other cloud-based storage volume like this. And whenever we apply dropping, we will drop the external table. Fine. The only metadata associated with the table will be deleted, but the table data remain untouched by the hive. Right? Whereas in case of internal table, metadata as well as the table data, it will be deleted from SDFS. But when we delete ET, only metadata will be deleted, because that metadata is stored in the Hive meta store. So that's why it will delete that data and it will not touch. Only drop the ET, only the metadata will be deleted. Right? But not the data which is there in the tables. Right? So we have to use external keyword. External keyword while creating the external data. Right? So I will discuss rest of the